Well, ahead of the big job summit tomorrow, a stunning vote some are calling a clear jobs killer today. Welcome, everybody. I'm Neil Cavuto, and it is enough to make a healthy company sick. The House Financial Services Committee just hours ago approving a bill that would allow the government to dismantle healthy companies if Washington thinks those very same companies pose a risk to the economy. And for good measure, it would slap stiff upfront fees and penalties on financial firms making money to pay for competitors not making money. Bottom line, it could mean a lot of money, not going toward creating a lot of jobs. And our own Judge Andrew Napolitano, not one bit happy about all of this. Judge, what do you make of it?
Well, there's a couple of things that this does which are directly prohibited by the Constitution. This lets federal agents rummage through the books and records of any corporation, publicly traded or not, without a search warrant.
On the government dole or not?
On the government dole or not, absolutely. This lets government bureaucrats destroy assets, breach contracts, remove investments on the basis of their subjective judgment without having to sue the company, without giving the company a right to defend itself, and without the involvement of a judge or a jury. That violates three separate clauses of the Constitution, which were written precisely for the purpose of preventing the government from doing that.
You get all worked up when we just violate the Constitution. You got to get over that. All right, but the big deal here is that this is something that is outright illegal, you're saying, right?
In my view, it's clearly illegal, and it comes from a mindset in the Congress that says this: if we authorize ourselves to do it, somehow magically that makes it legal and constitutional. Fortunately, we have judges to put the brakes on popular majorities that would trample the rights that are guaranteed under the Constitution. Now, the flip side of this is there is also in this legislation Congressman Ron Paul's long-supported, long-awaited, it was in the docket for record time before they voted on it, bill to audit the Fed. So if this thing becomes law, it will both audit the Fed and give the government the right to destroy private industry. Congressman Paul, he has to vote against his own legislation. But
they must have scripted that one.
Of course they did. Flip side, the president wants this stuff. So he can't veto the audit the Fed bill because he wants the government to have these powers to invade private industry.
Well, here's the argument for it, Judge, as best I understand from my contacts at the White House, including the gardener and landscaper, both of whom I'll be meeting tomorrow. They say, Judge, that if you don't have the industry assume responsibility for looking after itself and not the taxpayer, then in the end, the taxpayer is going to get stuck with the bill.
The only reason the taxpayer gets stuck with the bill is because we have a government that's created a taxpayer net under everybody. If business people were allowed to rise and fall on their own, the taxpayers wouldn't lose a nickel. These people remind me of someone who's murdered both of his parents and asks for mercy on the ground that he's an orphan. They have created the problem they are now trying to solve, and they continue to create it by putting taxpayer money at risk for the losses of private businesses.
You seem upset.
The Constitution doesn't authorize it. It's upset.
Okay. Judge, always good having you, even when you're upset. Actually, especially when you're upset.
Thank you,
my
Neil.
friend. Well,